my career has impacted other people's lives.
Well done. And that was not scripted, by the way. That was straight from the top.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Road Warrior Animal passed away recently. Thoughts on Road Warrior?
Yeah. Like many, I suppose. I mean, very surprising. His wife had reached out to me just about, 10, 12 days prior, I think a couple weeks prior to that, just randomly, and said, hey, Joe's 60th birthday's coming up. I'd like to surprise him. Would you shoot me a video, happy birthday video to him? And, of course, I mean, Joe and I go back to 1978. I think I was sharing with you guys, or some of the guys, that when I went to the funeral service, other than his brother John and his brother Mark, I looked around that room. Kind of dawned on me, I've known him longer than anybody else in that room, with the exception of his two brothers.
Wow.
And I guess, the number one thing is it just lends itself for all of us to understand, that mortality is a reality, and there is no promise of tomorrow. We do what we can, or I do what I can to take care of myself, exercise, eat, work out, and do the things I feel I'm within my control to do, but still realizing that there is no promise of tomorrow, and so these sorts of things happen. I posted a magazine cover shot. It was interesting. It was Ivan and I wearing the NWA tag team belts, and Animal and Hawk wearing the AWA tag team belts. And I asked the fans, I go, hey, what do you notice about this magazine cover? And I think only one or two pointed out the fact that I'm the sole survivor of that cover at this point. That the other three have all passed on. So.
Well, we know what Ivan, obviously meant to your career as a wrestler. Can you tell us how much Ivan meant to you as a person?
Yeah, we became, and people ask you, of course they still ask, believe it or not, to this day, is she really your uncle? Or, hey, your brother Ivan, or your cousin, they all kinds of things, right? I'm like, all right, it all works. But, was he really your uncle? And I'm like, well, he was in TV land. However, he was as much an uncle to me as any uncle I ever had, because he was instrumental, him and Don Kernodle, and helping teach me the ropes, pun intended, of wrestling, and we became close friends outside the ring, and spent a lot of time together, even really right up to his passing. And his wife, she wanted a very private graveside service, and asked if I would, be essentially the main speaker, which I was certainly honored to do that.
Wow.
And there might have been, I don't know, I think she invited maybe 25 people, not many. So just those who were really close, family, and then friends who were really close. And so it was quite an honor, and again, nothing but just incredible thoughts when I think about Ivan and all that he accomplished, certainly inside the wrestling ring, but even what he did with his life post wrestling.
Did Ivan reach out to you towards the end, maybe to talk about God and maybe get some clarity towards the end? Because I know you preached the word, and
yeah, well, it wasn't towards the end. It was actually so I give my life to Christ 17 October 1993.
Farrell's birthday.
Your birthday.
I have to throw that in.
Your birthday. We share birthdays.
There you go.
And and so
there you go.
And then there we go. And then I was in 1995. I got connected with an evangelist out of South Africa, and began to really just be mentored by him, and I felt impressed to call Ivan and invite him. This evangelist was doing revival services in North Carolina, And so I reached out to Ivan. I remember I reached out to him on a Monday, and I knew the evangelist was going to be there all week, and just invited Ivan. I didn't know he was at the service until the end of the service when the evangelist gave what somebody knows as an altar call, and there was Ivan standing at the altar.
Really?
Surrendering his life to Jesus. That was
Really?
1995.
Okay.
And it was the real deal. And by that I mean, prior to that, Ivan, by his own admission, and even in books and videos, would admit that he had drug addictions, tobacco addiction. I mean, he was a big chewer. He drank a lot of alcohol, ran around a lot or whatever. But you know what? On that night, kind of like those who are familiar with the Bible, is the Saul in the Bible who had a road to Damascus experience and had a real life-changing transformation.
Yep.
That was Ivan's story.
Interesting.
I mean, he went literally that night. It was like the slate was wiped clean, and from that point on, he never, by his choosing, he never had another drop of alcohol, another pinch of tobacco, didn't take another drug. I mean, cleaned his whole life out. Went on to become an ordained minister.
What made you invite him? Just
why?
What made you invite him? Had he
just
been asking about things like
No,
faith?
no. I just felt really just felt the Lord impress it upon my heart. Like, you need to call Ivan and invite him. And
Wow.
part of the inspiration is in having traveled with him on the road.
Okay.
And knowing, if you want to say, his lifestyle
Okay.
and the things that he was doing, like the things I just mentioned,
Yeah.
I just, in my heart of hearts, I was like, I need to call Ivan and invite him. I didn't know that he would come. I really didn't even think he would come. But if you've ever heard his testimony or his story about that, he'll tell you after I called him, just something in his heart said, I need to go. If it means that, if it means a lot to, he used to call me Nicky. He was one of the few who called me Nicky.
Okay.
And he said, if Nicky is going to take the time to invite me, then I need to go. And he said there was just this compelling draw inside of him to go.
Right.
And so that was 1995, and so all those years, like, he used to do a lot of autograph signings and stuff, like the Walmarts for the Children's Miracle Network and everything. Anywhere and everywhere he went after that, like, there'd be his 8x10s and there'd be his Bible. And he wouldn't necessarily bring it up, but if a fan came and brought it up, he would just open right up and just start sharing how Jesus changed his life and how much that Bible meant to him, and just have conversations.
So we were talking in the car also about your wrestling career and Ivan, and something that you said in passing through the conversation, we were talking about, God, if you only would have came to the World Wrestling Federation and Ivan could have came with you. But the one thing you said is you didn't think Ivan would have come. Why?
Well, I don't know. It probably falls in line with the same question people ask me or comment on social media and other things as, why isn't he in the Hall of Fame for the WWE? I don't know the answer to that. And my guess is whatever happened in the past, and there's got to be something, obviously something that happened that's kept him out of the Hall of Fame,
Something
whatever
with
that
him
reason
and Vince.
is.
Yeah.
That same reason probably would have prevented him from being invited in back up there, back to the WWF.
Did he ever share with you any problems with Vince McMahon Jr.?
No, we never. I mean, we weren't talking about WWF, man. We were talking about NWA and Rock and Roll Express and Road Warriors, and we're looking at what's in front of us, not the competition.
But as a wrestler, and now that there's only really one game in town, I know AEW is coming around and NWA Power is trying to do their thing there. Now wrestlers say New York was the pinnacle. When you got there, that's when you knew you made it. Is that what you felt, or did you not feel that at all?
Didn't feel that at all. I mean, I'd say it was some pretty good competitive days between WWF and NWA, and once we started going head to head, like for example, I mean, I can clearly remember going to Philadelphia. They were at the Spectrum and we were at the Civic Center. We had 10,000 people. They had 10,000 people.
Yep.
I mean, head to head. We had one opportunity to go to Landover to the Cap Center over a 4th of July, and I want to say '87. I think July of '87. I'm almost positive it was July of '87, and the main event was the Superpowers and the Road Warriors against the Four Horsemen. And everyone was kind of surprised we got in there because Vince had a lock on a lot of the buildings, and so even to get in there, at that point he had to give the building permission for. And the way I understand the story, he didn't think we were going to draw over that holiday or whatever.
So he wanted to embarrass you, probably, right?
Yeah. But we packed that place out with 23,000 people.